Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Triad Expeditions, and in this episode we will be continuing with our Maverick X3 modification series, and in this episode we will be installing a aftermarket steering wheel. As you can see, I have it laid out here. We won't be showing you how to install it, so if you were looking for something on the installation type of video, this is not it. But I do want to share with you some of our considerations when buying some of these products and why we bought them. We ended up going with the Assault SW Ballistic D-shaped, D meaning the letter D. So it has more like a flat bottom that will not come in contact with your knees or your legs. So that's kind of a cool like racing type series type steering wheel. And then we went with the Badass Unlimited hub adapter. So this is a specific hub adapter that will go on the size spline that Can-Am specifies for their machines. And then we went with a NRG Innovations, which is a pretty common like aftermarket steering wheel company, and they make a lot of different products. One of this says for off-road use only, so they're actually even saying that you shouldn't use this for on-road, which I'm sure people do all the time. But this is the NRG steering wheel, quick release, real carbon fiber. It just has a carbon fiber hoop around it is what it is. So I liked this one because it was pretty low profile. I liked it because the price was pretty good, and this is the piece that goes onto the hub adapter. Now there is even lower profile, but I wanted the steering wheel to kind of come back a little bit further than it had originally been mounted up, so that is going to accomplish that. I'll show you what the result is once we get it all mounted up, and if we end up having any specific difficulties, I'll let you know. But I do want to tell you also kind of what the purpose of this is. I know there's a lot of things that you install on a UTV that a lot of it is not so much functional, but basically it's more like bling, you know, to look fancy and really dress up the product, maybe to replace something that the factory kind of did, you know, just built or put on the machine to kind of make it more economical, and there's definitely plenty of that. But the steering wheel, as far as with a quick release, does definitely have a serious, very functional purpose, and that is for theft deterrent. You can take the steering wheel off very quickly. You can throw it in your backpack. You can take it and put it in your vehicle. You can take it even into the hotel if you wanted to, because it is going to make it more difficult for someone to steal the machine if they cannot manipulate the wheels. They would actually have to have some way of transporting it where they would have to back up a trailer to your trailer or something like that, which easily could be done, but not if you park your trailer in such a way that the back end of it is obstructed by an object or something. So obviously thieves are very creative and they know what they're doing, and that's always a consideration, but I want to stack my odds against this machine being stolen, and we do hear about stories about that happening quite often. And even if you just have it parked somewhere at a restaurant or even something like that, you know, I pretty much when I travel, a lot of times I will have a bag on me that is kind of an EDC bag type thing, just so that since I am away from home, I have some basic items in that bag, and so I could easily throw the steering wheel in there. So that is the purpose of it. Also, I was almost not going to go ahead and do this installation because I was thinking in terms of, well, do I really want to put my fancy steering wheel in there when I'm doing all this work? You know, what about if I accidentally come up, you know, and scratch it, or, you know, gouge it because I have a tool in my hand, I'm in a hurry, and I'm installing the Switch Pros and whatnot. But then it dawned on me the fact that, you know, this is going to be removable. So that's even better, because the steering wheel, obviously it doesn't hang down too far, but, you know, when I am going to be working underneath the dash here, putting in wiring and whatnot and routing wiring, this is going to be one less thing that I'm actually going to be able to hit my head on. So that's always a good thing. And so, yeah, it's definitely good timing. I have all this out. We're waiting to get our bearing press on. Sorry about the interruption there. Once again, the GoPro, I probably need to do a firmware update or something to fix that, because it does kind of just randomly shut off. So, which is never a good thing. So, yeah, so anyway, so we'll be able to pull this off and get it out of our way. And all right, well, we'll get to it. There's plenty of good installation videos out there on how to do this, so I do want to tell you that also, that if you are wanting to know the details, I just refreshed my memory on some of them, just on the little details of how to get this done. So definitely you can check those out. All right, everything is progressing along very nicely. I did want to give you a comparison of the stock steering wheel. And you know, the OEM steering wheel, it's not a bad looking steering wheel. I mean, they kind of give you like this faux carbon fiber look, you know, and the centering part of the steering wheel, and it's a nice rubber and everything else. It's you know, it's fairly well built. So that's what I'm saying. It's not terrible. But the new steering wheel, obviously, it's a contrast to that. Just a lot more detail. You know, it's actual leather, so the quality just, you know, is much better. So let's go around here and talk about how the steering wheel came off, and then what this is looking like. So there's the badass hub adapter. Worked out really good. I will tell you that when I put the NRG, the logo was the center for the corresponding part of the steering wheel, and we'll see how good it lines up here once I put it on, and we'll come back to that. So that'll be the next segment. But the 24 millimeter nut came off. It's a lock nut. It came off extremely easy. I just use a regular socket, you know, with a 3/4 inch drive ratchet there with the extension. It came off very easily. And what else? And the other thing that came out pretty easily, and actually I bought like a steering wheel puller, like a hub puller, for this purpose, so that it wouldn't hold me up. Didn't have to use it whatsoever, because the steering wheel it literally pulled right off. I mean, there wasn't any, you know, I wasn't sitting in here with my knees manipulating it, pulling it with my knees and my hand and everything else, or jerking on it. It came off really almost too easily. So, but that's good. You know, no problem whatsoever. The Badass Unlimited hub adapter lines up really easily. Yeah, basically I had centered everything up as good as possible, and then kind of seen where the top hole that was lining up with the NRG, I kind of put it on there and seen which one was closer to center, and so that's where it's at. It ended up being slightly to the left, but by not by much. So yeah, so we'll put the steering wheel on there. I mean, this has been a super easy project. I guess that's the biggest thing. If anybody is like worried, obviously your result might vary, but if you're concerned about, you know, just getting the OEM steering wheel, you know, you hear stories of people using hammers and beating the things off and then end up, you know, messing their steering up. That was just absolutely not the case here whatsoever. So all right, we'll get the steering wheel on there and show you the final result. All right, so here is the final result, and I guess it would have been probably nice for me to actually measure what the original steering wheel distance was. I'd say that it's probably a two inches further back than it was originally, but that's not going to be a problem. Obviously, you know, you're, as far as how tall you are, maybe that might be an issue, because you're going to be that much closer to the steering wheel if maybe you're a shorter fella. I'm 5'10", so not tall by any means, but obviously my seat will be further back than maybe you know, someone that is more in the 5 foot range. So they would be up on top of the steering wheel. My thoughts is that just like a race car, the steering wheel is going to be a little bit closer to me, which has my elbows more downward instead of up, and my arms extended, which will make for a little bit better of a racing type feel of a steering wheel. So that's good, and it snapped right on, and it appears to be very much centered up. You know, we'll see obviously as I go down the road, but yeah, it looks really nice. Pretty happy with the result of it. The security was my biggest motivation for doing this, obviously, as we discussed, and definitely I would say that if you are on the fence about doing this project, you know, it's definitely not a cheap project. And that is something I didn't really bring up, was the fact that, so the Assault Industries, the quick adapter or quick release, you know, it looked really similar to like the $30 variation, and I don't have them to compare, so it's just, you know, I really wasn't crazy about going with the Assault Industry one. It looked like it came out of the exact same line in China. You know, they sell the so anyways, so they sell the hub adapter separately. It looks very similar to the Badass Unlimited version of it. They kind of say that they machine it to this design, so possibly it's made in the USA. I couldn't find for sure that it was. Who knows whether the Assault Industries is. I don't think probably that it is. Most of their stuff is made in China, I guess, or maybe I shouldn't say most, but there's quite a bit of it that is. So who knows with that. The NRG product definitely is made in China, so there's no doubt about that. The steering wheel is too, so, you know, what are you going to do? But I can say that as far as the hub adapter, it was considerably cheaper than the Assault Industry one. So, and then the NRG was pretty much the same price as the Assault Industries. So for what it's worth, look at this combination and end up, you know, making your decision. As you can see, I like the how it's black with the 3 little stripes around it. I think that looks pretty good, and then with the carbon fiber. So I think the overall result of it is a pretty good one, but you know, each to your own as far as what flavor that you want to go with. So all right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. Definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button, as we do still have an extensive amount of projects still going on here. I reordered, or not reordered, but ordered the additional rigid lights in a driving pattern with a backlit of amber. Those rigid lights over there are white with white backlights. So my plans is to wire the backlights separately, and that's the way they really kind of want you to do it on the Switch Pros. And then the good thing is those are actually spots, so those will be in the middle to go down the trail further, and then the driving spotlights, or well, rack lights, are driving, so they're more of a flood. So we'll have kind of the benefits, and those will be on the outside. So we'll definitely discuss that as we get to that project, because I've been taking you step by step along the way. And some other exciting things that has happened is we have received our CT Raceworks high clearance radius rods in the back, and a number of their other products in that box. So yeah, we'll be getting on that here very soon, and redoing the whole rear end, pretty much everything except for the upper radius arms. So definitely, if that's something that's going to interest you in seeing how those go on, definitely, you know, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And everybody, be safe and take care, and thanks for watching.